Welcome to Stream of Consciousness. My name is Matt Duggar. Tonight, we're going to be talking about a whole bunch of stuff, namely how streaming reflects our relationships, how excited we are for Age of Empires 4 after 15 years, and what we've been doing in 16 years. Thank you for correcting me. And how much time we've been spending in New World.
That's true.
Without further ado, to my right is somebody who doesn't really need an introduction.
Well, then don't introduce him.
DS, welcome
Hello.
back.
I am back. I'm Bill's nemesis.
We'll see about that when Bill starts ranting. Bill, how you doing since last week? What have you been doing in New World?
What have I been doing in New World? Doing some questing in New World. Been just being a humble lumberjack, you know, simple life. Been prepping for charity marathons, far less than I should have. But yeah, we've been vibing. Good, happy life, man. Happy life.
Fantastic. DS,
Yes.
your job has been taking over your entire life and making you so tired that you haven't been able to do literally anything. How has that been treating you?
I would say literally anything. Like I think the reason I'm like, like my last job, I could go tired. I would, get maybe 5 hours sleep. This next new one now, I'm learning a lot, so I have to be the responsible adult. Go to bed at a decent time, do all that. But yeah, it does take up. I mean, it's a full-time job right now, but it's definitely a lot different. Like I said, I take a lot of pride in this job, and I want to do well. So I think that also affects a lot of things. Like I said, being a normal adult, go to bed on time, make sure you get enough sleep, and stay away from the adult beverages from time to time.
Staying away from them. Well, that's certainly not my strategy, but obviously I don't have a full-time job that isn't this. So, this of course is Stream of Consciousness. Every week we three weird internet idiots sit down and talk about streaming, relationships, how streaming can affect your life, and how excited we are for dumb stuff that's coming out. So, speaking of which, today, DS,
Yes.
before we got on stream, you were wrestling with a tough topic.
I was. I mentioned the idea of like either cutting down streaming or just nixing it altogether. Which is like I've been doing it for 2.5 years now, and streaming 3 to 4 days at minimum a week, which is like it's literally like part of my life and my lifestyle. But at the same time, I was talking about like with working too as well, and balancing family and gaming and streaming. I don't want to lack on the IRL family side, so I was talking about either cutting down streaming even more or taking a break maybe a little bit and figuring out how to either work around it more effectively or see which is better in the end state. Because like streaming is amazing, it's fun, but if your real life has something going wrong, it bleeds through.
Mm-hmm.
And
Absolutely.
you have to make sure you take care of yourself and everything around you to make sure you're emotionally and physically well, so
Right.
that you can go do those other things.
Yep.
So, and I don't, hopefully you don't mind me prying a little bit.
Go ahead.
Because I certainly, I think that anybody who is in the streaming gig for as long enough goes through this situation, right? Where you have a desire to keep doing it, but it's also cutting into every other aspect of your time, right? This is a job or a hobby or a lifestyle that requires quite a bit of time commitment, regardless of how much you're live. And so I love that I can, get you in and actually talk about this, because again, not even 2 weeks ago, I felt very similar. I was very lost in my content creation journey, but it wasn't, it was for a completely different reason, which is great because now you're looking at this saying, man, I'm just not spending enough time with my family. I want more time with my, you know, my baby and my, you know, and the rest of it. And it's, what's great about it is we are 3 dudes who stream. We have 3 completely different familial situations, right? Our relationships are all different, right? But streaming affects each of those in a different way. My relationship with streaming and with, you know, my home life was such that in the beginning, it was creating a lot of friction for me because I was spending exorbitant amount of time trying to perfect every little detail, right? And trying to like do everything on every platform. And, you know, actually got advice from, you know, you, DS, and from Chi and from Bill and from all the people that I asked, like, stop doing everything. And, you know, I started cutting down the time. I was streaming like 5 days a week for like 7-8 hours a day. It was ridiculous. And I started cutting back my time and cutting it back to like 3-hour streams, 3 days a week, you know, and, you know, slowly adjusting when I can do it so that I actually have those times with my family. I'm lucky that I don't have a full-time job. I don't have to go out and earn money in order for us to subsist. And I don't necessarily need streaming to pay me money in order for us to live. So I'm really, really lucky and privileged in that. DS, you have a full-time big boy job.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, like a full-time big boy job. And so what about that is like, what about that affects, like the big boy job obviously affects how you come home, how tired you are, because it's such a mentally draining job. Talk about like resetting, getting into stream, and then how that affects the home life, like a little bit with your family.
I'm gonna say it's kind of nice for me because my last job before this was construction, so I came home physically tired last year, which was completely different now than it's mentally tired.
It's a different game.
It is. The good thing is I come home in a better mood. I'm gonna say that. My mood is definitely 10 times better coming home. But I use that where my brain feels like Jello afterwards. It's like I just want to sit there and not think for a little bit. But at the same time, like it depends too as well. Like streaming, depending on how you do it, it's a lot of multitasking. It's a lot of thinking. It's a lot of being quick on things as well. So sometimes that can add to. I think that's why I just kind of really been enjoying New World is. Sometimes you just get on there and just relax. You can just chill out.
You just kind of turn your brain off.
Throw some like DMCA free lo-fi tunes on and just have fun.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
I think as long as, like I said, just streaming is really what you make it. You can make it super exhausting and mentally taxing and go on there for a while, or you can go on there for a few hours a day and just chill out with your friends and have fun. It depends on what you want to make it, what you want to get out of it. So I think I kind of did more of the chill thing now. Like before, I used to do a lot of during the week. What am I want to do for the streaming? Planning things out, try to change OBS stuff before. And I mean, I don't want to say I feel kind of stale because I haven't, but at the same time, that's what it's kind of turned into because I just want to have fun.
Right. Right.
I've definitely sat in Discord with you for multiple hours on multiple days on multiple occasions, just fucking with OBS stuff.
And then I revert back to it because I hate it.
Are you guys reading my journal? Like, what the hell?
Like, I'm that person where I would try to change my camera angle for 3 hours just to put it right back to where it was.
Yep.
See, I lean hard into my lazy stream vibe. And the funny thing is, I put the least effort into my stream out of the 3 of us, by far. Like there is a
I
notable
wouldn't say
gap.
that.
Oh no, I put the least like
I don't know,
offline
man.
time.
I don't know.
I put
That
the
My Hero
least.
Academia poster behind you is screaming like pure effort. Like
Yeah, like there's
plus
the My
ultra.
Hero poster back there, and then there's the chibi League of Legends fucking drawing over here. And that's that. Like y'all put time in offline. I don't. Just because. Like I'm one of those people that if I let it take over my life, it will. So I like keep that distance. But I will also say streaming is the single most mentally exhausting thing I do in my life, even back when I was working a full-time job. Like it is so mentally and emotionally exhausting because yeah, I've talked about it a million times. Stream bill is just normal bill cranked up 20 times. And boy, does that wear you out fucking fast. And that's why when I stream now, I stream like an hour and a half, 2.5 hours maybe. I can't do long streams anymore because it drains me. And not that it's bad. I love streaming. Again, another thing I've said a million times. Streaming is like therapy to me. I love my community. I love having those conversations. But at the same time, fuck, it's tiring. Like, it just wears me out so much. That's why I took like this entire week off of stream, minus this and the marathon tonight. I have had zero online presence. I haven't been in people's chats. I haven't been like actively playing games with anybody. I've just been living in my own world.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you know, there's been 3 no bones days this week, so I totally get it, right?
Noodle's got to come through first.
Noodle's got to definitely come through. I've had a completely different journey over the last couple of days. And for me, the last couple of weeks has been really up and down. So my journey with looking in the way that I feel and view about my stream has had kind of an epiphany moment over the last few days. And I started really kind of thinking of it as getting, just sort of, and I kind of take a little bit of a note from you, Bill, right? Trying to force content, trying to force or create or think about content has really kind of shoulder cough. Trying to think about content has really kind of burnt me out. And trying to figure out like what I want, right? It's not a real stream. Not a real stream.
Is this better, Derek? Are you happy now?
There you go.
It looks so much better.
I know. You don't have to look at this anymore. You got this beautiful Samsung G-Track Pro.
There we go.
Purple ass fucking mount. What kind of idiot paints their entire mount purple, Derek?
A person that has this color background all the time?
I love
This
it.
hasn't not changed in the last like year and a half.
Background to that story. This is Derek's old mic.
Yeah. So we like to help each other out.
Shock mount!
Shock mount is not shocking enough. But yeah, anyway, my content creation journey, right, was causing me to not want to do it, was causing me to literally shut down in my brain. I'm not medicated and I probably should be. But it's a situation where I'm
Fuck off, Derek.
nice. It's not even plugged in. Focus. I'm like gonna mantra myself into it, but over the last couple of days, kind of what I've done is taken a little bit of a more sort of laid back approach to what I want to do, and focus on like one metric or one thing that I want to improve in my stream, one thing I want to do better, and it has really like taken a load off of my brain. I love everything that's happening in Bill's camera right now.
What is this? This is how microphones work, right?
This is literally devolving into Have we all had like no sleep? Is that really what's going on today?
I played 15 hours of Hades consecutively today. My brain is fucking shot, Duggar. All I can think of is privilege status and what boons I need to get to enable it.
I did not go to bed until noon this morning. I was up all night doing like other shit. We're all fucking ADHD and we're all terrible at our jobs. But this is fantastic. Noon this morning. Yes, noon. I went to bed at noon. I took my daughter to school. I like laid down for an hour and then we went and got McDonald's and I laid down and went to bed at noon. And so literally woke up at 7:30 or 6:30 tonight.
I made a grave mistake.
Yeah.
Doing this with my microphone has absolutely pushed like 2 mustache hairs into my nose, and now it won't stop itching.
Oh my god, dude. This is why you keep it trimmed?
I know. I've been
yeah,
late.
no,
I can't.
Last
I
time he
literally
did
cannot.
that, it caused things to break. We don't do that anymore, Bill. We don't do that anymore.
Last time that I trimmed my beard or went full no facial hair, A, I look like I'm fucking 13 at best. B, I just felt naked and afraid.
That's the best way to
I
feel.
felt so much more vulnerable.
Just a straight up like brand new world person running around getting beat up by zombies,
Man,
naked and afraid.
If I could show up like at any point in my life with the same look that my New World character has, I would. Just aggressive mutton chops and a friar tuck, bet.
Oh my god. Get a good trimmer and just
my next charity stream, that'll be the incentive, is I'll
Oh my
cosplay
gosh.
my own New World character and dye my hair neon green and my beard neon green and go full friar tuck mutton chops.
That's amazing. Absolutely. I stand that. We're gonna do it. Speaking of charity streams, how is the charity stream going right now, Bill?
Fairly well. We've raised, let me check. I have it open in another tab. We are at $711.10 over about 8 hours. My donation incentive has been reached, which is really exciting. A little terrifying that I do have to run all weapons today, but really exciting nonetheless. It's going well so far.
Good. Awesome. Well, speaking of gaming, speaking of getting into it, and as much New World as we're spending, we got some exciting news. Age of Empires 4, 16 years ago, they released Age of Empires 3. So they're releasing a new game after 16 years. Bill, talk to me about Age of Empires. What does that mean to you?
Age of Empires, first of all, is, if not the very first PC game I played, the second. I got into both Age of Empires and Diablo at roughly the same time, so it's hard to remember which one actually came first.
Same.
But Age of Empires 3 was like a really big bonding thing for me and Joe, who's in chat. We played that game for hours and hours and hours and hours on end. And ever since it came out, we've been waiting for the sequel. They announced it late 2020, or it might have been late 2019, early 2020. I'm a year past.
I think it was 2019. I think it was like literally right after they announced the Baldur's Gate 3. I think there was like a AoE 4 announcement, like literally within a couple of weeks of that.
And pretty much since that announcement was made, it's pretty much been radio silent on Age of Empires 4. Like, genuinely, I'm super excited for this game. I forgot it was coming out because there's so little promotional material for it. It's also in a really niche genre. Like, not many people are, really dying for the next medieval RTS, but I fucking am.
Speaking of not dying for the next RTS, Derek, tell us what you think of AoE.
Yeah, what's your opinion on Age of Empires
He's
4,
gonna
Derek?
hate me. He's gonna hate me after this. It looks like a at best an okay mobile game.
See, I understand that because I would never expect you to sit down and use your brain for more than 30 minutes on a video game.
Oh my god.
It just looks like something I would play on my iPhone 5. I mean, that's
You
how
could probably,
I
you
mean,
could probably
he's
trim it down and make it mobile.
he's
That is
not
fair.
wrong.
But there is so
I'm-
much shit happening.
So
I like visually graphic games. I love open world games that you can travel a map. I love things that look
So
naturally beautiful.
the reason Age of Empires looks the way it does is because it is a RTS game. There are anywhere from 500 to 600 actively controlled characters on the map at any given time. So in order for literally PCs to be able to process that much happening, it can't look amazing.
I
It will
understand
literally explode your PC.
yeah.
but-
See,
I know you've never played an RTS, Derek, and I
No, have
understand.
not.
Lots of big brain, not good for Derek. Derek, big
No.
hammer smash! Big
It's-
hammer smash, Derek!
It's not that at all. It's I like
I know,
games
buddy.
that I can visually get into,
right.
and just watching the 15 seconds of preview of that game,
Yeah. Well, RTS games are
RTSs
also
are not for everybody.
they're not they're not for everybody. They definitely have their niche and their genre. AoE is I would say a tent pole game in that genre that almost has been completely owned by I would say Warcraft and Warhammer were like smaller versions. And you have like the bigger versions of like obviously Age of Empires and like Civilization, which is a little bit different. Civilization is a little bit more of a little bit less of an RTS and a little bit more of a turn-based strategy.
Turn-based.
Yeah. I'm trying to think of the name of the other game that's giant in this genre. And
did you mention StarCraft?
yes. Well, I mean, StarCraft is there, but StarCraft's much more skirmishy based. It's a lot smaller units and things like that.
Stronghold is also really big, and it's at
Yeah.
a very similar level.
I can't think of it. I'm blanking on it, but that's fine. But yeah, those are very niche games, very much for the sort of strategic mindset type people, the people who played Risk and Stratego when they were growing up instead of Monopoly and Chutes and Ladders. So we're gonna get there, Bill. We're gonna get there.
Oh, Dugger,
So
you're pushing buttons, you son of a bitch.
So like Age of Empires 4 is coming out. That's going to be great. I'm excited about it. We'll probably, check it out a little bit.
It is,
but it's not as big.
on Game Pass on release. Oh, he's sneezing. Ah!
Ha! Good thing mute buttons exist.
Good thing I'm here to make the sound effects.
Exactly. This is why we need you. Sound and hype man is the way we're working for you. DS is the obvious, boy toy chunky rock that keeps us all centered and grounded.
The only thing you
Derek's
were
the
right about that was the word chunky.
Yeah, Derek's the face of the brand. But
I'm surprised Bill hasn't freaked out about my last comment. There's a visual equivalent of Raid Shadow Legends.
I'm gonna write a very strongly worded letter to your wife and tell her she needs to get you in fucking line.
I can see Stream Elements like revoking the Raid Shadow Legends offer to
I have said
to
it
stream.
so many times, so many fucking times. Raid Shadow Legends would need to pay me fuck you money. Like, not even like a normal amount of fuck you money, like twice of whatever amount of money you're thinking. That
Baby time.
type of fuck you money. Baby time!
It's baby time, everybody.
Hello?
Everybody say hello
The
to
wave high?
DS's baby. See right here.
Ah,
So
hello?
Hello?
Is the
Gonna try
baby
to-
DS?
They're up there.
Eventually, you're going to try to eat the mic. Nope.
Yeah.
It's coming.
Yep.
You're so cute.
But AoE is going to be fun. I don't know if I'm going to find time to play it outside of New World, and just the sheer amount of other things that I want to do. I recently just started playing Dark Souls for the first time. I'm playing through Dark Souls, and that is, let me tell you, it's an experience. Now, that said, I'm going to be real with everybody. It's not nearly as hard as everyone says it is. It's not this, ball buster of a ridiculous game. It is easily beatable.
It is incredibly difficult, but it is fair.
Yeah, I would say that that's probably the best way to describe it. It is a fair game. If you know the mechanics and you can actually execute on them, push the buttons at the right time, you shouldn't have too much trouble in that game. The game punishes mistakes. That's all it does. It's not unfair. And it just punishes your mistakes. And the thing is your mistakes are amplified in that game because of how bad the controls are in DS1.
Wait till you play DS2.
I've been told.
DS2 is unfair. DS2 suffers from what I like to call small room syndrome, where they make all of the spaces too tight, and instead of making the enemies more difficult, they just throw more enemies at you.
And you're always hitting the walls.
They abandoned the Dark Souls formula in Dark Souls 2. Dark Souls 1, fantastic game. Dark Souls 2, still a good game, suffers from small room syndrome. Dark Souls 3 is about the best game in the Soulsborne genre. Those type of games, the more paced combat style of Souls games, is probably my favorite out of the series.
I think
it's phenomenal.
I'm hooked. I'm absolutely sold on it already. I'm definitely going to play through the rest of them. I've got a whole bunch of games on my docket that I want to do, but I'm really happy with the response of my community coming in and going, "Hey, this is a Souls game. Cool. Let's do this." And then half of me is thinking, man, maybe I should look up the Dixper shit for Souls.
Oh gosh,
that'd
be horrible.
And have people fuck with me while I'm fighting bosses. But yeah, so it's been a fantastic ride so far. I would say I'm about 3/4 of the way through the first part of the game. I've hit the first bell. I'm going down. I'm in right now. I believe I'm in the Undertown, not Undertown, but
you will get to a boss fight that will make you change your opinion on Dark Souls isn't that hard. You're going to get there relatively soon. Joe, I remember watching Joe struggle through this for 4 streams consecutively of just trying to beat the same boss. You're going to hit that wall and you're going to be like, man, this game is fucking hard. What the fuck?
Yeah, I mean, we'll get there. I'm coming up against it, and the hardness that I'm finding is the fact that every enemy is different, their timing is all different, and you have to adjust per enemy to change, and then they're like, oh, by the way, there's also 3 or 4 more of those at the same time, and so it becomes that part. It becomes that part of hard, right? Where it's not oh, this is a hard boss hard. For anybody who's played through Final Fantasy VII Remake on hard mode, I've beaten the hardest bosses in that game. Those bosses are extremely difficult, and sometimes unfair. Completely optional fights, by the way, but you have to do it to get the platinum. And so, for me, Dark Souls is more hard in the trek to getting to the boss than actually the boss, at least so far.
You'll get there.
Yeah. So, and
Trust
I think
me, the thing you've been doing where you fight every enemy is going to stop very soon.
Yeah.
You're going to get to the point where you've retried the boss 18 times and you're like, fuck this, I'm running past it. I just want to fight the boss again.
I absolutely at some point will get there. But yeah, I will definitely. I'll definitely get there. I'm gonna play through 2. You know, reluctantly, everybody tells me it's bad. I've had some people literally tell me it's their favorite Dark Souls, and
It's not bad. It's not bad by any. It is still a fantastic game. It is the low point of the Souls series, though.
Okay. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I've got Bloodborne on my PS5 already.
Oh, Dugger.
And I'm gonna play through Bloodborne. I'm also really looking forward to picking up Demon's Souls, the remake of that. So that's probably gonna be happening at some point too.
Bloodborne is a masterpiece.
Absolutely. I've watched people play it. I watched the Game Grumps play through it. It was a fantastic, experience to watch them do that. It looks great, and I'm super down for like all the Eldritch horror stuff. Yeah, I love all of that like Cthulhu, hellscape stuff. It's so fantastic. So
I was thinking about actually trying after watching you play it though.
Really, that's
Souls?
awesome.
Yeah,
Derek, Souls will fuck you up.
Souls is amazing. I think you should do
They're
it.
fantastic games, but the Souls games will absolutely
it's
fuck
not
you up and
my
make you hate your life.
style either. Like anything includes dodging, I am not good at. But I think it will make it fun.
Oh, I
Souls
love
games
dodging.
are very much about roll and stab in the butt.
Yeah,
And then you roll and you stab them in the butt.
It's learning how to roll and like not rolling into the enemy and having them stab you mid roll. It's the being able to time the special attacks and the strong attacks so you can get iframes to not die to multiple enemies.
I have also actually been considering doing a Dark Souls playthrough.
Oh my god, I want you guys to all do it.
Every time one of my friends runs Dark Souls, so I've played through most of Dark Souls 3. I've never finished it. I've played through a good chunk of Dark Souls 3. I've never played 1 or 2.
How would you guys feel about doing, like, once we've all played through the game once, how would you guys feel about doing a, like, try-stream speed run of Dark Souls 1 simultaneously? Simultaneously. Like, we all do it.
I will literally destroy all of you.
Can you carry me somehow in that?
No.
Didn't we carry you? Because I think that would be hilarious to do, like a 3-person stream with all 3 streams trying to like get through. Like we have a goal to meet.
Here's the thing: if you introduce me to a speedrun environment, I am going to learn the actual run. I'm not going to try to do it the way y'all are gonna do it and just try to play it fast. I am going to learn the fucking run, and I am going to stomp your fucking heads in.
This is where competitive Bill comes in.
This is the competitive Bill. Speaking of competitive Bill,
my life.
Speaking of competitive Bill, one of the things that we wanted to touch on today, and we talked a little bit about it earlier. We mentioned it a little earlier, and Bill already started steaming on the top of his head. But when the RTS discussion came up, like the old school board games that when everybody says I play board games, right? Everybody's like, oh, you play Monopoly and Yahtzee and like those types of games, and you just want to like shoot them in the face because that's not board games. But
they are board games. They're just bad board games. They're just fucking bad. Every classic board game sucks ass. Period.
How so?
Have you ever sat down and actually played a full game of Monopoly, Derek,
Yes.
and not hated yourself after about the first hour?
No.
Genuinely.
But
Playing a full game of Monopoly is like bad sex. Everybody's disappointed, nobody's having fun, and it's not even that satisfying in the end. Monopoly, fucking garbage. Life takes too long. Garbage. Battleship. Ass trash. Makes people mad. Scrabble. Okay, cool. You like words. I guess you can have that one. But like, fucking classic board games are the fucking worst. Classic board games are literal garbage. Yes, Joe. Red Dragon Inn is great. You know what Red Dragon Inn isn't? A classic fucking board game that people have been playing for 30 years. Fuck every goddamn classic board game you can think of. Fuck Stratego, fuck Monopoly, Stratego's on the edge. Stratego's not quite there yet, though.
So just
But,
like every
fuck
board game
Risk.
in the Walmart board game aisle.
If you go to the Walmart board game aisle, every one that they don't have like turning the spine towards you, where they turn the whole box forward and they're like, "Look, Monopoly, garbage." Literal fucking garbage.
All right,
That
so
sounds like
Go play some real board games. Go play like Sheriff of Nottingham. Go play Red Dragon Inn. Go play like One Night Ultimate Werewolf. There's so many good fucking board games out there. Catan's ass too, but I understand why people like it.
I would venture to say that Catan is an old classic board game, but it is not the board game that people talk about when what I like to refer to as casuals.
Board game.
Yeah, when people say classic board games, typically I don't think they're talking about Catan. Now in the circles I walk in, they are talking about Catan, and they are talking about Stratego and Risk and some of the more strategic
Fuck
and
Risk,
better
too.
board games.
Risk is a fucking garbage game. I used to like Risk. I used to be a fan of Risk. Risk is fucking ass. Risk takes fucking 6 days to play.
It takes so
Who the
long.
fuck has
It's so
6 days
long.
to play a fucking board game?
It's
Who?
like when when GW was revamping the 40K rules, and they were like, oh yeah, so we're not gonna do the big long 4-day
Fuck
games
Warhammer.
left. And Warhammer was
Warhammer
like,
too.
they were all like, why? We want to play for 4 days straight. And it's like, that doesn't make any
Here's
sense.
my problem with Warhammer 40K. If I have to carry a fucking yardstick to play a goddamn board game, you can fuck off. You can fuck off.
Question for you, Bill.
I'm a Warhammer player. I brought things to measure distance. Fuck you.
It's literally a Warhammer.
How
one.
about the game? How about the game Clue?
Clue
Yeah.
is ass too.
How is
Ooh.
it ass?
Fuck
I
Clue.
don't know, man. Clue
Again,
is-
it takes too fucking long.
I don't know.
It takes
I
too
like.
fucking long.
I do like Clue though.
There are
yeah.
games that do it better than Clue.
That's true.
Better
That's
class.
true.
There are games that do exactly that better than Clue, that take less time and engage the player more.
The board games aren't about
Play-
speedruns, Bill.
No, that's not the point. The point is the amount of time I have to invest into a game of Clue to the amount of satisfaction I get from the time I've invested into playing Clue is fucking garbage. It's a shit ratio. I play Clue for 3 hours and then, it's Colonel Mustard with the lead pipe in the library. Oh. There are a million mystery board games that do it so much better, but nobody stops to find them. That's my, legitimately, my real problem with classic board games is everybody's like, Clue's just the best thing ever. Fuck that. Go play fucking,
Betrayal.
Betrayal's good. House on the Hill, but yeah, Betrayal at the House on the Hill.
Mhm.
It fucking does Clue 8 million times better.
But it also
is
takes
just-
about the same amount of time.
It does take about the amount of time, but there is so much more satisfaction in what Betrayal at House on the Hill is compared to Clue. In Betrayal,
is it-
you do the same thing you do in Clue, except you're exploring a mansion with your friends. Every turn, you move and you build a new board every single time you play Betrayal. At some point, you trigger an
Clue is
event
good, yeah.
that takes the game from exploring to somebody in your group is a murderer. It
Yeah.
then becomes the one person who is the murderer against the remainder of the group. Every single game, there's like 200 fucking scenarios in the base game. There is literally 2 separate, like, thick-ass books with each of these scenarios down to, like, detailed description. There's a whole plot writing. There's so much fucking more. So yes, I have to invest the same 3 hours into Betrayal at House on the Hill, but it is 8 billion times more satisfying from the amount of fucking effort that went into that game. There is so much fucking love and effort in that game that anybody who is still playing Clue is like that person who only eats fucking vanilla ice cream. Like,
I mean,
grow a
vanilla-
pair,
good
nut
vanilla
up,
ice cream,
and go
though.
try something different.
So that said, right? We talk about like bad board games. What is your one board game that you introduce people into higher concept board games? What's your one game that you do that with?
Not higher concept. Sheriff at Nottingham. Sheriff at Nottingham or fucking Coup. Those are my go-to, like, starter, not classic board games. Coup, really simple card game. It's literally just a game of deception. Everybody gets 2 rolls, and then you get a card that tells you what each roll can do, and you can do literally anything on that card.
Yeah.
You don't have to have those 2 cards. You can lie your ass off. The whole game is about calling people out on their bullshit. Very simple concept, very quick game, super fun to play.
DS, what about you?
See, I don't really play board games at all. Like,
This is the guy who was arguing with me? I don't play board games?
I mean,
Fuck you, Derek!
I played Clue growing up. That's the thing. I was cultured as a child. So, if I was going to play a...
You sure aren't as an adult, bud.
Oh, well, okay.
I love
Coming
you,
from
brother.
the guy that once played Age of fucking Empires 4, 16 years later.
Derek, it takes too much brain power for you.
If you're looking forward to that, I'm sorry that you don't have that much excitement in your life that you're looking forward to that game coming out, Bill.
Derek, I am going to hold my comments on what excitement I have coming in my life because it's not podcast appropriate.
Okay, you do that. But the
yeah.
thing my normal go-to for me is literally Cards Against Humanity.
Okay,
See,
I can accept cards
yeah,
as a party game.
I
yeah.
can accept Cards
party
Against
game.
Humanity as a party game.
DS, I would
Also,
challenge you this.
Let's
Go pick up a version of One Night Ultimate Werewolf. For the people that you play cards with, right? Like the group of people that you have a party and you're playing Cards Against Humanity. Go pick up a version of One Night Ultimate Werewolf. It is a fantastic party game that you can play with a ton of people, right? And it's a great option for people who might be bored of playing, because I've sat down for like the 10-hour sessions of Cards Against Humanity, right? By hour 3, everybody's going, okay, cool, penis jokes, great. And then, and it's...
Yeah, I mean, it's not a game that you play all night. It's like a game
Right.
you play for like an hour and a half, maybe at tops.
But can I pause?
Go
I'm
ahead,
sorry
yeah.
to interject. On the same topic of Clue versus Betrayal. If somebody came up to you and said, "Let's play apples to apples," would you be excited?
Be excited for maybe I would play for like 45 minutes or so.
Of apples to apples, or if somebody came up to you and said, "Let's play Cards Against Humanity," you're like, "Fuck yeah, let's play."
I mean,
Cards
they're the
Against
same
Humanity.
game.
They're
The same game,
but
one took
a
the
little bit
time
better.
to fucking be good.
But I did back in the day have a lot of fun with apples to apples.
So did I. There's a reason Apples to Apples wasn't on my list of fucking games that are bad. Apples to Apples is great. But it is significantly less... Man,
True.
thought-provoking is the wrong word for Cards Against Humanity. But thought-provoking...
THOT, thought-provoking.
Thought-provoking.
Yeah. All right. That's it. Stream canceled.
That's it. End it. Kill it there.
No, I would say... For me, the game that I like to use when I'm trying to get people into understanding, like when I say board games, what I mean, there are 2 that I like. One is I really like, especially if they're like really casual about board games, I really like Quirkle. Quirkle is a great, quick, easy to play, easy to explain board game, and Splendor. So Splendor is another board game that I absolutely love to introduce people into, not necessarily like high concept, but basically like strategic style board games.
Board games that are not the ones everybody played when they were 5.
Exactly, right? I have a huge board game collection. Like we've got something like 70 board games. It's insane. And it's just going to keep growing. Our list just consistently grows over and over and over again. Because that's what we ask for every year from people who want to give us things. Once the Panini is over and we're no longer in the middle of the Backstreet Boys reunion tour, the board game nights will continue and will continue to happen. Yeah, I think they're right. It's 80 plus. So
Also, another great introduction to like higher concept board games, Codenames.
Codenames is great.
Codenames is
Absolutely
fantastic. Codenames is a word association game. So basically, you get a bunch of words laid out. Two people can see what words represent each team, and they basically give clues to their teammates to try to get them to guess their words and not the other team's words.
Also,
super quick, super simple. It's one of those things where it's like you can introduce somebody to the concept and say, we're just going to play around and you will get it as we go. And it's the most true thing possible. Like it's the simplest concept executed well.
Another one that I really like, and I swear to God I didn't prepare this, right? Because I knew that Bill was going to be ranting about bullshit board games, but I didn't prepare this. This literally was just sitting behind my chair because that's what happens in this house. If you guys haven't seen Wingspan.
Your background blur says no board game.
Background blur says no board game. Wingspan. Nope. Yeah, it's not going to work. Wingspan is fantastic. It is really cute. It has great illustrations. It is very difficult to find, because they do that. But yeah, like there's an entire like genre of games out there for people who want to play board games and want to have family nights and things like that. And kind of pulling it back around, right? You know, DS, you're thinking about taking more time off to spend time with your family. Board games are a great way to do that. They're a great way for you guys to sit down and actually do things. There are board games that are designed for toddlers, right? So as you know, as the baby gets older, right? You can sit down and actually like teach them to, you know, shape associate, color associate, word associate over time, and actually kind of really get into that. The time that it takes for you to do that. The other thing is, you know, Bill, your situation is completely different from mine and DS's, right? So like getting together to play board games with your family is a little tougher. But now they have things like online board games and stuff that are, you know, games that are like translated to the online. Like I saw the other day that like 7 Wonders was available digitally, right?
We quite literally, my group of friends and I, every Saturday night play Codenames for like 2 hours in Discord.
Yeah, absolutely.
There's so many online options available for it. One night we have to get like our communities together and play Codenames together. Derek,
absolutely.
I think you would enjoy it, but your brain would melt at trying to associate words.
Yes.
I can see it happening.
I don't know. I think
already.
You do
You're
okay.
gonna be drunk. You're gonna be drunk in Discord on a Saturday night, and you're just gonna be like,
I'm okay. So
tabletop, yeah.
Maybe if drinking,
we could bring that back. You know, tabletop is a concept that was gone for a long time. You know, we didn't really have that. The Panini kind of killed that game show for a while. We could definitely bring it back. I mean, it's going to be digital, but we could definitely do that. I think we could do that.
Tabletop sim will be great.
Yeah.
I've been wanting to get a group together to do just like a relaxed, chill tabletop sim stream.
We should definitely think about that.
Have
I'm going
fun
to write
with
that
my
down.
friends.
We're going to write that down right now.
Stream it for the sake of streaming it.
But yeah, hype concept board games are great. One of my favorite games of all time to play is Roll for the Galaxy, which is a alternate version of Race for the Galaxy. But instead of, you know, having cards and like, you know, picking things up and like trying to go through strategy, you're rolling dice and then using those dice to actually kind of, you know, build your empire. Very awesome game. Really great to jump in. But like there's so many. Like I said, we have like 80 plus here. I've got friends of mine that are in the like hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of board games. And it's so much of a good way to spend time. It's a great way to play games, but also spend time with your family. You know, unless you're playing Betrayal and somebody's killing you constantly.
I think. Sorry, I cut you off. I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. One of my favorite games that I think everybody should look into, especially if you like Betrayal or if you like any types of like, you know, story style, narratives type games like that, is Above and Below. So if you guys haven't played or haven't heard of Above and Below, go out, look it up, try to find it. It is a fantastic fantastic game that you can play with just 3 people, or you can play with, I think, up to 4 or 5 people. It's it's definitely great. And Uno, yeah, we're gonna. Are we
Uno does
Bill?
destroy friendship.
Yeah.
It does.
No, Uno's cool.
Yeah.
Uno's cool.
Okay. I was gonna say like
That's the one you say is cool. Out
Uno's
of
cool.
everything?
at
Yeah, Uno's. Here's the thing. Uno's a unique concept that is hard to do better than. Straight up. There are a million games that do things that are similar to Battleship that require far more strategy. There are plenty of games that do the same thing that Monopoly and Clue do, but with far more higher concept. Uno's cool. Uno lands.
I did not expect that. Just it's cool.
Yeah,
That's where it ended.
Uno lands.
That's
I think
pretty awesome.
the problem that I have with classic board games is the same problem I have with a lot of music. Like my go-to, I've ranted about this many times, not only on my stream, but within personal friend groups. Like the song I Write Sins, Not Tragedies by Panic at the Disco.
Mm-hmm.
Not the best song on that album, but it's the song everybody knows. There are so many better things that are offered that are overshadowed by the one really popular thing. That is my real problem. Like the heart of the problem with classic board games. The heart of my problem is there's so many amazing board games out there that get overshadowed because they're not the like Mattel Hasbro classic games. I mean, even to some degree, games like Skip-Bo and Phase 10 get overshadowed by Uno because Uno is the classic card game.
Yeah. Phase 10 is great.
Uno's cool. I have no problem with Uno, actually. But it still falls into that same category. When you think classic card game, you think Uno.
Right.
It's that same thing where it's like, so many people get stuck on that classic thing that they're not willing to adventure into what else is available. Because there's so much out there. Board games are such a deep fucking... such a deep... I can't brain. There's just so much to it. There are so many it's a deep market. That's what I was going for.
Right.
There are so many board games out there that people look at and go, huh, this looks cool, but they don't buy it because I can just play Monopoly. Like, go buy that game. It is probably going to make you much happier. That's boy, we're gonna jump back to relationships. We're jumping back to fucking human life right now.
Hey man, yeah.
We're jumping back to human life right now. It's the same thing in real life. People stay where they're comfortable, even if it's not great, because it is a known entity. There is comfort in the known. And the thought of potentially sacrificing the known for an unknown that may not be it is terrifying. And it applies in all aspects of life. We're all guilty of it. I guarantee every single person, both of my co-hosts and everybody in chat, can think of at least one thing that they passed up on to keep something that they knew. Whether it was good or not, they didn't want to take the risk of the unknown and try something new. We've all done it. It is human to do it, and it is okay that you've done it.
I've done it.
Yeah, definitely.
Exactly. I can
mean,
say right now, I haven't talked about it on the podcast. I am mid-divorce. I have been in this relationship for 12 years, and it is the single most toxic thing in my life. I stuck with it for 12 years because it was known and comfortable. I can say that now with 100% clarity. That being comfortable and knowing what I was getting into, despite how toxic it was the easier decision than venturing into the unknown.
I mean, the unknown could be good or bad. I mean, but also too as well, like if you go to the unknown, worst case, I mean, you could also use it as, okay, I know I'm not going to go there again.
Right.
You learn something.
Exactly. And I can say now that I've taken that chance and I've realized how toxic my marriage has been for 12 years, I have wandered into very unexpectedly a very healthy relationship that is still very young and very much in the beginning stages, but it's no longer like, oh, you're being nice to me, what's the play? It's just like, no, I care about you, this is okay.
Can we
Where-
let's talk about that a little bit, because like relationships is kind of the focus or the theme tonight. How, for me, right, before I was, you know, married, before I had gotten into the relationship that I'm currently in, I was very much in a space of not trusting other people because I felt betrayed by the previous relationship. You know, we had talked about things, said things, done things that we were like, hey, we're going to take this to the next step. We're going to do this. You know, this is the relationship that we both want to be in. And then for me, it felt like it was a completely out of left field situation. But if I play back everything that happened in my mind, there are signs, there are flags, there are things that I ignored, right? Because I was comfortable in that relationship. And because I didn't view it myself as being toxic to me, but it was toxic to people around me. And it was toxic, you know, was toxic to both of us. And I look at that and I go, okay, well, you know, all of my previous experience has colored the way I dealt with people. And that has been the case up to the point where, like, then I met my current partner and we got together. And because it was long distance at the time that we kind of got together, there wasn't enough time for me to be suspicious all the time. For me to be like, what's your game? What's your angle? What's your play at? Right. I had a little bit different experience as well, because I had already had a crush on this person from years previous. I'd already liked them. I was already into them from years previous. And so for me, it was a little different. But I'd love to hear from somebody like, you know, for Bill, like the relationship that you're in right now, you're realizing, oh shit, this is much better than what I was before.
And I do want to make an aside to that, because in order for relationships to fail, both parties are at fault. And I openly and to some degree, both, I know what you're saying, Derek. To some degree, there are things that both parties could have done better in any given relationship that falls apart. It's important to look at things reflectively. It's also important not to blame yourself for things that weren't your fault. It is very important to not blame yourself for things that weren't your fault. But it is important, personally, to look at things reflectively. I can say, I have been with my now wife since we were juniors in high school. We have been together that whole time. And I can say 17-year-old Bill to like 22-year-old Bill fucked this relationship. I can 100% say that the reason dynamics developed in our relationship was because I was a bad person. I was an immature person. I did a lot of things that I shouldn't have done. I wasn't great either. You know, it took the time for me to sit down and reflect and go, as much as the things that I have done previously are inexcusable, it is not the person I am now. And it doesn't excuse any behaviors that are happening currently either. Can I accept that my previous actions in my relationship have led to this point? Yes. Does it make anything that's happening at this point any more excusable? No.
If you don't admit your faults and the wrongdoings, if you try to move past that, you're just going to do the same. Mm-hmm. So you have to have that, sit down, have that real life, like, come to Jesus moment with yourself. Like, I fucked up, and if I want to make things better, I can't do that in the future. Or
exactly.
And like I said, if you want to progress and go on and things get better, you're going to have to realize the points of what you fucked up on. Mm-hmm. And I think that's a very adult thing to do.
I think if I pinpoint the turning point of where I started to recognize how toxic my relationship, it is actually meeting you guys. Where I started to have meaningful relationships with other people. And like the fact that there were plenty of nights where it was like, man, like what even when we had for all first started talking, it's like, man, you know, DS and Dugger and Mick and Celeste all treat me with more care and respect than my wife of 10 years. Like that was the beginning of realizations. There are plenty of things that we won't get into because I am not going to slander my soon-to-be ex-wife publicly. But there are plenty of other situations that have, you know, gone to exacerbate the situation. We'll leave it at that. But that was the moment where I was like, this isn't it. Like, that was the moment where I took the time to reflect and be like, these are meaningful relationships in my life. And no point in the 11 years at that point where we had been together had that ever been our relationship. And it sucks. Like, it sucks to realize those things. It when you have the realization that something you have invested your fucking heart and soul in for that long, when you realize it isn't it, it's terrible. And then you start, like Duggar was saying, you start looking back at things and you realize, like, I should have seen this coming a mile away.
Yeah. So to the same point, like, you have to, example, you're from New York and you love fucking pizza.
Yep.
If you never had New York pizza and you had everyday just regular Pizza Hut pizza and you never had pizza before, you would think that pizza that you had was fantastic, probably.
Mm-hmm.
It's not until you realize and you have something that's not quite, you think it's okay, but then you realize it's not that good. You try good pizza, then you realize, like, okay, like there's better shit out there sometimes. So sometimes, like, it just, things suck, it's bad, but it gets you to the point where you need to be.
Mm-hmm.
And actually,
it's been a wild ride.
And once you get that good pizza, you realize, okay, I have this good pizza now. I'm not going to lose it.
I'm not going to, exactly. That's, like, it has been crazy. Like, even, like I said, developing relationships with you guys. Or, you know, granted, different type of relationship, but still.
That's what they
developing. Well, hey, we keep our private life private, Derek. But developing those meaningful relationships with people and seeing that there doesn't have to be an angle. At no point, if you fucking message me or you call me and you say, hey, I need your help with this, do I feel like there is anything there but, like, I need help from this person and I know this person can help me. It's never like, oh, well, I need you to help me with this because I helped you with this thing. You know, it's not
no ulterior motives at all.
Exactly. There is no fucking extra bullshit behind it. And you know, it was weird to this day now being in a relationship with somebody who genuinely is just like, yeah, I just wanted to call and talk to you. Not like I wanted to call and talk to you because these 7 things I need you to do. It's like, no, I enjoy your company. Being at low points and having the response be, oh, well, suck it up, buttercup. Like, and then not having it be, well, suck it up because you need to. It's like, it's a whole different world, you know? It's a world I'm still
absolutely.
very much
I am
accustomed
happy
to.
for you, though. I will say that.
Thank you.
I am excited. I mean, happy is there, right? I'm definitely happy. I'm excited to see healthy relationship, Bill, because I met you guys recently, right? I would say, you know, we've been, acquaintances for like 7 months. I would say we've been friends for a couple of months. And so I've only seen broken relationship Bill, who is spending all of his positive energy on stream or positive energy in one space. I haven't seen Happy Bill yet, you know? And it's
coming.
seeing Happy Bill for the first time, like when you, like, okay, off stream, when you told me about what was going on, when you kind of walked me through it and kind of like, oh, okay, here's the thing, here's this, when you updated me on that, all that, like the difference in your demeanor was so amazing. I'm excited to see that bill. I'm excited to see where and how much that bill can accomplish, because to me, that's
That bill
amazing.
Turn his camera off for a second.
No, that bill is broken.
That bill is turning his camera off for a second.
All right.
It's true though. Like I know what you're saying. Like we've seen honestly we've seen Bill at his worst, and yet we became good friends and had meaningful experiences and everything, and that was at low points.
Right.
So to have those on the high points, and yeah,
Thank you, guys.
that's what friends are for. For the best and the worst of times.
I'm excited to share these moments with you. I really am. I'm excited to share these moments with everyone. Nobody on the internet has seen me actually happy. They've seen moments. You know, everybody's seen moments. That's not to say there haven't been good moments. But it's there's a lot of words. I wasn't expecting to.
It's okay, man. Take your time.
The week that or 2 weeks ish that I spent in Tennessee not too long ago, like back in April, was like the first time in a long time where I felt like me, where I genuinely felt like me. And I know people noticed it because everything was different. I mean, beyond like people going, oh, that's not where you normally stream from. People were like, they noticed the difference in the vibe. I noticed it. There's a lot of things that are moving right now that are, I used to always say things were moving in the right direction. And the more that I look at it, those, things that were moving in the right direction were moving in the right direction to the wrong thing. And it fucking sucks. It genuinely sucks that I can, again, like I said, the first few years of my relationship, the first few years of my marriage were bad, and it was on me. It was 100% on me. But since then, I have fucking poured my heart and soul into fixing it, I never thought I was going to get preachy on the podcast. I know this is very out of character for me. But
Preachy? Nah, I don't think so.
I never thought that I would be giving up all of that time and effort. And giving up isn't the right word, but it's the words I have right now. I never thought I would be hitting the point where I went, I fucking tried, I never thought I would be at the point where I would look at things and be like, you have been fighting the wrong fight entirely for 8 years.
That's so much effort, though, that can be focused somewhere else in a very positive way, though.
And like, it's bittersweet to a degree, because I know there are very, very positive things waiting for me in life. I've put off so many of my personal goals for this, honestly, fucking failing relationship for forever. I've been trying to go back to school for years. I've been putting off going to school because, well, this reason not right, this reason not right, this thing's not right, wait for this thing, make this thing happen first. And being able to finally see that out and see the fucking the light where I'm moving in a month. For people that don't know, I am moving to Tennessee by the end of November. That is happening. There is no in between on that, and there's a lot of uncertainty around it. The only thing that I 100% know is I am going to make it to Tennessee and I have a roof over my head. That is the 100% of it. I know I have a wonderful and supportive girlfriend who's going to see me through it. I know I have wonderful friends, and I've got Joe, who's in chat and has been. Everybody has that one family member that's not a member of your family anymore. As much as they are your blood, they are much more than just your family. Knowing that at that point I can look at my life and there is a lot of things that I will leave behind in New York that will make me very sad. As exciting as it is terrifying at the same time. In reality, New York State isn't very keen on single fathers. That's something I'm going to have to accept. It's something I've kind of already accepted, and it's been hard. It's been very hard. But also knowing that at some point, all of the people that I'm leaving behind, everything that I am unfortunately going to have to give up, will eventually see me, actually me, and not the fucking mask that I've put on for years. Be able to see me in my truest state, as much as I say that, who I am on stream is just me amplified. Who I am on stream, who I am that's getting amplified isn't the truest version of me. It's not. And that's not like any act of deception or anything. It's just reality. It's the situation that's been. And the fact that I can see myself going to Tennessee and actually being able to go to school and pursue what has been my dream for 6 years now of moving into the mental health field and getting my master's degree, and knowing that I don't have to worry as much about is all of this going to be taken care of while I do this, because I have to focus on me. And granted, I will be splitting costs with Joe. Don't worry, Joe, I know you're out there. I'm not going to freeload off you. But legitimately, the reason I haven't gone to school is because the finances weren't going to be there. The Army's going to pay me $1,200 a month to go to school. They're going to give me a housing stipend, and that is going to cover housing and maybe a bill. But the fact that I can finally see the change that I want to make in the world coming through, and I can take the burden off of my shoulders of being the guy. I don't have to be the guy for everyone anymore. I don't have to be something that I'm not. I don't have to pretend to be happy. I don't have to pretend that I'm okay. I am actively not okay. And I've talked about it on the podcast. I crack a joke every week about how, I'm breaking down mentally, but I'm still here. That's real shit. That's real shit. I am getting way too fucking preachy. I'm sorry. This probably sounds like some sort of fucking guilt.
No,
trip.
it's not.
No,
at all.
it's good. This is what this is about. What's interesting about this podcast, and what we set out to do in the beginning, was to try and portray the most real version of ourselves and talk about real issues and real things that, streamers go through, the real things that content creators go through. And there's nothing more real than what you just talked about. There's nothing more real than, your response to that. And I just want to and I know that we talked about it a little bit earlier, but I just want to say how proud I am that you feel comfortable enough to share that with us, that you feel comfortable enough to share that with our audience, with all the people around, and how much of a friend you truly have been. And I really do count you among the very few people, especially on this app and on the internet and on those places, but even outside of that, as people that like I can trust, people that I can put my trust into, that I can ask when I need help. And you know, I want you to know that, like, those of us who are in this call, those of us who are in the chat, we're all here, and we all are absolutely ready to help at any moment and ready to be there for you at any moment. So I know that I don't want to like keep putting you on the spot all the time, but I want you to understand, like, when we started this podcast, when we got the concept together, this is what we were talking about. Yeah, we bullshit about Age of Empires. We talk about some like news shit that happens throughout the day. But this is the core. This is the heart and the soul of this show. And it's that we are real people, you know, who have chosen this as our hobby, as our full-time profession, as our part-time gig, and it has an effect on everyone, and it has an effect on us, and that we go through real shit, and that real shit affects everything that we do. So talking about that stuff is fantastic, and I thank you so much for being vulnerable, for opening up about it.
Dave, it's something that I have always said to people, and that I have never very well led by example on.
I'm excited to see this though, like, because I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, but like we've all like we've been knowing each other for a little bit, but not super long.
Mhm.
But I feel like what you're explaining is like we know like the shell of Bill of like what's left.
You do,
And
admittedly, every fucking person who has met me in the last 8 years probably knows who I've become, not who I am.
but I feel like you're going to grow back into who you are again.
Yeah.
I feel good.
It's
I
like
tell you, that's something that somebody in chat touched on as well. And DS literally just said it. Bill, it's not about what you've lost, and it's not about the shit that you've carved out of yourself, right? And it doesn't matter that there's these holes, right? What's great about it is that you haven't lost a past, you haven't lost time. What you have is gained a future, right? You're going to build something, and you're going to build something with not just the relationship that you're in now, right? Because there's no guarantee that that's going to work in the wild. What is guaranteed, and no shade to anybody, but what is guaranteed is that you as a person are going to continue to build upon yourself, and you're going to continue to fill those holes with things that, you know, complete you as a person. Now, that can be other people, that can be a degree, that can be going back to school, that can be finishing what you wanted to do with your life and figuring that out. But what it ultimately means is that everything that you did before led you to this point now, so that you can be the person you were meant to be in the future, right?
And I think it's something I don't think I've said on our podcast, but I'm sure it's something that you guys have heard out of my mouth at some point, because I say it all the time. And it goes back to, you know, like, I fucked up a lot of things. I don't regret a damn one of them. I'm not proud of them. You know, to say that I wish I didn't handle things differently would be wrong. But we all fuck up, you know? We all do stupid shit. We've all done shit we're not proud of. We've all done shit that is blatantly wrong to one degree or another. It's important
to not let those things be what defines you. You know, I like to say, I fucked up and I don't regret it. It's just some shit that I did. And that's what it comes down to. Like, I fucked up. I'm not proud of it, but I did do it. And at the end of the day, just some shit that I did. And I learned from it and moved forward. And now we're going to look at where we're going now, not just look at that shit that I did a few years back. That is my genuine approach to things. That is something I tell people all the time. Like, you're right. You did fuck up. You're right. You were wrong about this. Don't regret it. You made your decision, and you acknowledge that it's the wrong decision. Now it's just some shit that you did. What matters is what you do now. What matters
That's
is what you're going
fantastic.
to do.
Well, DS, do you have something?
I don't know if I can follow that. I mean, I'm just super excited. I think, like, I mean, I have other. If we're getting real with things,
Sure. Absolutely.
Dude, we
Mine-
crossed the real barrier like 30 minutes ago, buddy.
yeah, okay, true. So I will go into the real barrier. Mine's a little different, and this also goes off of what I was talking about earlier too, as well. Was the whole I recently moved, got a new job, all that stuff. But the reason behind that is because you all know my daughter's just turned 1 recently.
Mm.
The move was for the job because I am the only working adult in the household right now. So it was literally to support my family. The move is definitely going to affect streaming, gaming, being at other people's streams a lot. I can't have my phone for 10 hours out of the day. Most my other job, I was on my phone here and there. You know, I would pull a Twitch stream up, throw it in the truck, and go off and do what I need to do. I can't do that stuff anymore. But the reason why is because when we lived, I mean, you guys are aware, I lived in Austin for a year. I got in the military. I got a pretty good sized check, and I went through all that surviving in Austin. And when I mean all through all that, like about $50,000.
Yeah.
In a year drained that. So that's why now I'm at the job I am now to supplement that now. So I can actually make a living to support my family. But at the same time, it sucks because it takes away from times like this a lot. Stuff I've done for the last 2.5 years. I've literally, like I said, it's my lifestyle. I come home and stream and game, and I'm Discord, and I'm in other people's streams, and the relationships you build. I lost a lot of that from not being as active as I have been, like I used to be.
Mm.
So like that's really hard too as well, to kind of get a grip on. Like, I mean, Bill, me and you used to talk all the time. We still talk, but it's not at the frequency we used to. And that's how all my relationships have been going now. Is I used to have snap streaks with people for 100 days or more, that I sometimes now have message once a week. And it's not because I don't care. It's just I
Don't have time.
try to
Dude.
prioritize my time to other things. And even streaming, like I said, has taken a back seat now to a lot of other things. So like there's a lot of things that get involved in the background of stuff that people sometimes don't show or don't voice, because that's not what people sometimes want to see. They want to come see hype and laughter and happiness, and that's not what's always there.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, like I said, that is the first time publicly I have mentioned my divorce. I think at one point maybe I had mentioned that things had gotten bad in my relationship and that I was likely moving, and then I backtracked on it because, again, I pushed it off because, oh, well, this isn't right. We need to make this happen. And then maybe I can focus on me. This is part of life, dude.
There's struggles.
And like, this is something, like, I have not once admitted in any live fucking forum that what you see isn't me. It's what I am now, but it's not me. So like, I totally agree with you. Like, there's a lot of things that happen in the background of all of our lives that, you know, our communities, our friends online don't know about shit. I have friends in real life that I see on a near daily basis who don't know what's going on, who don't know that I'm mid-divorce and legitimately mentally and emotionally falling apart on a damn near daily basis. But Derek, you're loved, brother. You're loved. We love you. We support you.
It's-
Yeah.
I think the weird thing is the relationships I've made online with friends over the last have been some of the most solid, honest, like no bullshit friendships I've ever made in my life.
Oh yeah. I'd say very, very quickly, you two have become two of my closest friends. And both of you know, if you're being dumb, I'm gonna tell you you're being dumb. I'm gonna tell you you're being dumb because I fucking care about you. And I know that if I'm being an idiot, you're gonna be like, hey, chill, dude. I also know that when I'm not being dumb and I'm in my own head about it, you guys are gonna go, no, dude, you're fine. Like, legitimately, the relationships I've made in the past year during the middle of a fucking global panorama have been more real than 90% of the relationships I've made in my life. Like, as bad of a year as 2020 had been, it had also been one of the best years of my life. I had met so many amazing people. I made so many real friends, even if genuinely never met either of the two of you. Not once have any of the three of us physically been in each other's presence.
Yet.
Don't worry. The move in November is quite the trip. I've got a handful of stops to make that go past Tennessee if money allows it. One of them is coming out your way. One of them is going further south. There's a lot of shit that's in motion that, like, if the finances come together for it, it's going down. If I can make it out to wherever the fuck you are now, or you fucking Mexico or whatever,
New Mexico.
I'm gonna go to Tijuana and meet DS, and we're gonna have a cerveza.
That would be awesome. Well, just as a way of wrapping this up, our situations are all different. The struggles that we run into as content creators, as streamers, as people are different. But they're struggles that everyone else also all deals with. And if somebody has found a bit of comfort in knowing that we are also going through those kind of things, that those things affect our lives, they affect our streams, they affect our content in meaningful ways, then that is the purpose of this podcast. That is the purpose of us getting together and doing this kind of thing. We all have different struggles. We all have different places that we are in life. And if we can come together and support each other, even though every struggle that we have is different, then there's, you know, it's a greater community as a whole. So, with that ends Stream of Consciousness. DS, where can people find you?
Find me over on twitch.tv/DStheOriginal. That's where I've been mainly. That's where I'll be probably at for a while, hopefully. We'll see. After the, we'll see how, with the talk earlier, how things go out.
Okay.
Yeah,
Bill.
but I just want to caveat to that real quick.
Go ahead.
I think it's you might hear this a lot, but I think it needs repeating a lot. That sometimes it's okay to not be okay.
Yep.
We're all there.
Absolutely. Um, I think that that's probably one of the statements that I think maybe gets overshared or oversaid a lot. And
yes.
but it's true. And I think the trueness of it overshadows that a little bit. But it is true. It is okay to feel bad. It's okay to feel like things are hopeless. In the back of your mind, you may be telling yourself, I can't continue. I can't go on. I can't do this. I can't do that. And those feelings that you're having are valid. They're real feelings, and you need to look at them and address them and kind of move through them as you can. Just know that whatever you're going through, when you come out the other side, we'll be here. And we're here for you guys. Just like for both of you guys, I'm right here. Whenever you get through whatever you're going through, I'm here. And I've got barbecue, and I've got good chocolate milk, and I've got good pizza.
Bagels.
And Memphis is the best food city in America. So we have all the best food. Just come and hang out, and we'll do that. Bill, where can people find you, and what are you going to be doing?
You can find me at twitch.tv/I'mDoingIt_. Like I had mentioned previously, the streams for this week are all canceled. I've just been dealing with my life shit, and we touched on it, but it's the tip of the iceberg. I got a lot of shit going on right now. So typically on a good week, you'll find me Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to roughly noon, 1 o'clock Eastern, twitch.tv/I'mDoingIt. In less than an hour, I will be running in the Game Over Cancer Charity Marathon over at twitch.tv/Strizer86. That is going to be my farewell to Hades. That is going to be my last official Hades speedrunning event. All proceeds for that event are going to the Canadian Cancer Society. It's a really great cause. It's a really great marathon. I ran for them last year. So if you would like to see quote-unquote high-level Hades gameplay, you can come check me out there in roughly an hour. Run's supposed to start at about 11:25 Eastern, so a little bit less than an hour from now. We're going to be running the all-weapons category of Hades. It's about an hour and a half long run, a little bit more than that. I've got two really great runners also from New York who are joining me on commentary. Two of my good friends, High Five from Ryan and Vareem. If you guys want to check that out, like I said, that is twitch.tv/Strizer86. I'll link it in chat because it's not easy to spell.
I was going to say, how do you spell Strizer? Because I was going to put it in the show notes as well.
STRIZER.tv/Strizer86. You can find me over there in about an hour running Hades. Like I said, it's going to be my farewell trip.
In an hour?
In an hour, a little bit less than an hour.
Oh shit!
About 45 minutes, 50 minutes ish. I will be starting that. But yeah, it's gonna be my farewell to competitive Hades and Hades speedrunning, all in all. So it'll be a good time. I'll put on a damn show.
Awesome.
As always, guys, if you have suggestions for things that you want to hear us talk about, leave it in the comments. Please, if you enjoyed the podcast, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, hit the bell. Know when we're going live next. We're here every Thursday. We're moving to 9 p.m. Eastern for Derek's work constraints so he can have some more time with his family.
I appreciate it too as well.
So, always, I've said it a million times. I'll say it again. We're three nerds on the internet who are fucking scrounging for content. So wherever you can help us, help us. This week's topic that I suggested came from my girlfriend. That's where this came from.
It also came from a rejected topic from like 4 weeks ago.
It was a topic. Here's what happened. So you guys suggested it a while back, and I said I wasn't ready to talk about it, and we were on the phone last night. And she was like, well, why don't you talk about how like streaming and stuff affects relationships? And I was like, we were going to talk about that, and I shot it down. So that was not me
trying to steal claim from you guys coming up with the I
Oh, no.
genuinely didn't think about it.
I was
but
genuinely
that was-
surprised you made that suggestion. So I was excited.
I had to get to the point where I was ready to talk about it publicly too.
You know what? You take your time.
But yeah, if you liked it, drop a like, leave suggestions in the comments. You can always find me. I'm doing it _ on all platforms. Twitch.tv/I'm doing it _ Monday through Friday. 9 a.m. to roughly noon. That's it for I'm tapped out. I don't even have a witty exit this week.
Well, guys, my name is Duggar. I've been joined by some of the best people in the business, DStheOriginal and Bill. I'm doing it _ You can find me on all platforms, pretty much all platforms under the soDugger tag. I'm on TikTok. I'm on Twitch. That's where I spend most of my time. This week I've been playing some Dark Souls. That's what I'll probably be playing next week. We're going to play it till we beat it. If you enjoyed the podcast, remember, just like Bill said, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell icon. And then that way we can, see who liked it, see who didn't. If you didn't like it, my name is Philip DeFranco, and you've been filled in. Have a good rest of the night.